Titus, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us today. Congratulations on the final season. Let's jump into it. Tell us a little bit about what your character Harry is facing in this final season.
Well, Harry gets called out on a fire case, and when he arrives, he meets with the arson investigator, and it is arson, and it has claimed the lives of multiple victims, two of which are children. One is a 9-year-old girl, and the other one is an unborn child. That immediately changes the whole sort of idea of how this case is going to move forward. And what's sort of uncovered is that it's a street gang, but the impetus for that, which seems initially to be just a form of intimidation gone awry, has deeper political background. And as always with Bosch doesn't navigate politics well at all. He's a guy who's just boots on the ground working a case, and so he comes up against the bigger picture of federal law enforcement, local politics, and also the political machine of LAPD. And he's getting stonewalled. And of course, when you stonewall Harry Bosch, he bites back. And so this all kind of culminates into these years of him doing his job and trying to navigate that and sort of deflect. But now he's faced with it head on, and there's no way for him to avoid it. And I think we see that there's a sense of resolve, and that he may have to blow it all up and burn it down, for lack of a better term, in order to obtain justice for these victims. So we see, I think, for the people that he's dealing with, the political aspect of it, it makes him extremely dangerous to their agenda.
Yeah. Now, do you have a favorite scene from this final season?
Yeah, but I can't necessarily say which one it is. It's hard. That's kind of like saying, what's your favorite Beatles song? There's so many wonderful moments and scenes. But I think, as Harry and Jerry are on kind of bumpy terrain, as Jerry's kind of trying to navigate what's transpired in the previous season, and Harry's supporting him and he's kind of covering for him. But his lack of attention, Jerry's kind of compromises people and creates a situation that's deeply dangerous. And for me, my favorite moments, since I did the Beatles analogy, my Hey Jude moments on the show are when we see Harry make the decision to how he's going to move forward. And I think those are those kind of, the slow clap moment, or where the audience gets up a little bit and goes, yeah, they see that he's made that decision, and that's becomes the catalyst, which sort of is the fuel of excitement that moves us through. And then the audience goes, okay, we're on the case with him now.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen? And this time we kind of go, he may be willing to give up his job in order to get this, to close this case.
Yeah. Now, you've played this character for a number of years now. What's something you wish that the audience understood about him that maybe they wasn't so obvious? And two, is there anything about the character that really resonated for you personally, like you identify with in this character?
I think that what a lot of people maybe don't always see is the depth of vulnerability in Harry. There's a part of him, and it's an interesting piece of machinery, because if, as a one-on-one thing, if somebody goes after Harry's a formidable guy. He can fight for himself. But when we brought the character of Maddie in and started to forge that relationship and make it stronger, we suddenly put Harry in a deeply vulnerable place, because it was no longer Harry on his own. Now his child is there and he can be gotten to. And I think that there's an underlying sort of electrical current that of fear that pulses through Harry, which is, I think, as any parent experiences that, you know, we want our kids to be able to navigate the issues of the world and kind of come out and be stronger for it. But then there's the other aspect of being a parent, that when our kid falls down and they skin their knee, we're up and out of the chair and we run over. And it's all about the face that you put on when you approach the child who's hurt their knee. If you look terrified, the kid is going to burst into tears and feel maybe unsafe. If you go over and you soothe the child and are you know, even keel, it emboldens the kid to say that hurt, but I'm going to be okay. So I think there's that aspect of Harry, and so I think he's the poor guy, and I identify with this being a parent. You know, I've got 3 children, and there's always that underlying thing of wanting our kids to be able to navigate the world, but also we don't want them to be injured in any way. And I say that in the you know, the broader scope of things. We want them to have happiness and have life present its challenges without injury, you know, emotional or physical injury, or injury to their psyche. And I share that with Harry, and I think that Madison and I together have been able to create, I believe, a very, very real relationship between a father and a daughter, one of which neither of them come with instruction booklets, so they don't know how to navigate each other, but they've kind of naturally progressed to a place of you know, deep love and respect and understanding. But they're very, very similar, so which also they kind of can polarize each other in the way that, you know, real relationships do.